Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new video. And today I want to talk about a pretty cool game that I've been playing, Manor Lords. But before I begin my kind of review, I want to say that this game is like in pre-alpha state version 0.01 before Christ, and there's a lot of early access gameplay, if you know what I mean. And also I've kind of only got into the mid game, right? I've built a decent city, and I've made a few attacks with my troops. I attacked the camp and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't have like a big city with 200 families, and I didn't build another city in another region. So it's kind of early to mid gameplay, but I've got a pretty good feeling of the game. Manor Lords is a medieval strategy game where you can build your city, create an army, and conquer the land around you. You'll have to manage a city, assign different families to different workplaces, defend your village against raiders, and a ton more. Alright guys, so now let's talk about the good stuff in this game. So one of the things that I want to start with is graphics. I think the game looks good. I think the game is made with Unreal, so the developer has every tool necessary to create a good looking game. And I don't want to put too much emphasis on this because nowadays with Unreal everything can look good, everything can look decent, but I think the game is aesthetically pleasing. I think when it comes to graphics, it delivers. Now, the number one thing I want to point out with this game is the attention to detail. There's so many little cool things in this game. The attention to detail is crazy. For example, you can build like a lumber place where you assign workers and the workers go chop down trees. But a really cool thing is that they chop down the tree, but the tree doesn't instantly go to your inventory, right? It's not just a number that, oh, you have 5 wood, well, guess what, now you have 10. No. An ox has to come, drag the log that was taken down. It has to drag the log all the way up to the camp, or all the way up to a new place to process this log, or the log has to be dragged all the way up to a house to be built. And this is really cool. I really love this. And we've seen a bit of this in some games, but it's not a lot. I really like this stuff, and I think it's super cool. And there's a lot of attention to detail in the game. For example, another cool thing that I like is that, for example, the farm, you can kind of research. There's like there's development points that you can use to unlock new things. And one of the cool things that you can unlock is a plow. So you can assign oxes to the farm to allow you to plow stuff. So there's these little things that are really cool, and then you have to upgrade the farm. They have to build the plow area. It is super cool, right? I love these things. And I would say that in most games, you don't have to build anything. If there's an upgrade, you just upgrade it and boof, right? So I love the attention to detail. Another really cool thing related to detail that I love is the progress when something is being built, right? There's the little pieces of wood going together, making it's so cool. I love it so much, right? Another really interesting thing related to buildings is that for some things you can you can create an area. For example, for housing, you can create like a small plot, and you can create different houses. You can have more houses, but if you have less houses, you can have kind of attachments. But it's so cool. It allows for so much. You can think about it. You can plan so many things. And one of the really crazy things that I loved in this game is that the attachments for the houses, and when I'm saying attachments, I'm talking about things like, oh, this house you can build like you can have chickens, or this house they can plant some carrots, and all of these things will supply resources for your city. And I think this is so cool, right? And there's also kind of like houses that specialize in different things. For example, some houses specialize in building equipment, building clothing, building weapons. It is so cool. It is so cool. I love that. Yeah, I think this attention to detail is amazing. I really want to see the future, and I really want to see what we will have in this area. How much can we build? How much we will be able to create our own buildings and stuff. It is so cool. And for example, when it comes to building, there's also the building, the kind of the palace. I don't know how to explain, but you can actually build your own palace. You can place the walls around it. You could place like turrets and stuff, and a tax house. I think it was a tax house. It was so crazy. I've never in my life seen that stuff in games, in this type of city management and building games. It is so cool. I really love the idea. It is amazing, right? I really love it. Another cool thing that this game has is troops, and you can attack, you can conquer other regions. And I remember my first few fights, I really struggled. I think it's very unbalanced. For example, archers were really useless in my opinion, or I was just not positioning them correctly. They were not shooting because people were in front of them, and it was weird, right? But one thing I realized is that if you kind of become Alexander the Great for a second, and your military tactics go wild, you can really win a fight without a lot of casualties. And you could, if you position stuff correctly, it's really cool. You can have this military strategy thing going on, and I think it's awesome. I really think this game is super cool. And again, I talked about conquering another region. I used influence to conquer another region, but I haven't built another city, so I can't really talk about trading between cities and how hard is it to manage two cities. But I really like this current version of the game. Another really cool thing that I've seen in this game is that the developer really has a vision for the future. There's a lot of things planned out, right? For example, there's a smell area, there's a risk of fire area, something like this. And this will probably be, we will have buildings associated with these things to clean the streets, to put out fires. And for me, it seems pretty cool that even though it's not working, the developer's kind of telling us, listen, this is what I want to do, right? And I think it really shows a little bit of commitment. Not only that, there's a ton of things that are still in development. You level up your city and you get some points to research new things, right? And a lot of the research you can get is still locked and is still in development. But it seems like the developer has a really cool idea. And this system is really cool because if you play different games, you will most likely have different paths, different research. And this is really cool. It creates a different type of gameplay every time you play a game, if you want to. If you obviously want to follow the same path, it will always be pretty much the same experience, right? Another thing related to this that I saw is that there's policies. I think it's policies, right? I think it's a city policy. There's only 2 are available and they're still in development. But they seem pretty interesting and a pretty interesting idea. again, to build cities in different ways, right? And I think this shows that the developer has a lot of things on his mind, and we will probably see a lot of cool features in the future. And I'm really excited to see how much of cool new innovations in this genre we can see because of this game. And by the way, just all of this game was being developed by a single man, a single unit of a man. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy to me. All right, now let's talk about the bad part. What's not so good in the game? And again, keep in mind, this is alpha state version 0.001 before Christ. So this is not the final product. A lot of things will change. Tomorrow, a new version comes out, and a few things that I will probably complain about or talk about will be changed. So take this for what it is, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is there's a lot of bugs. There's a lot of bugs, a lot of missing features, a lot of things that are in development. And this is kind of like, I feel like this version of the game is still a bit too early. Maybe they could have, I don't know, right? I think the developer needed to release the game to get it up and running, to get the people, listen, this is what I'm doing. Do you like it or not? Am I doing something good or not? But there's a lot of bugs. For example, when I was building my castle, like I said before, we can build a castle, place the walls, and place the turrets, and not turrets, it's kind of like towers, more like tower, defense tower. And as I was planting a lot of defense towers, when I removed the towers, the cost of the building did not go down. So what I'm trying to say is that if you play this game long enough, you will 100% find bugs, right? You will 1000% find bugs. If I remember, in one of the runs I played, I was planting, what was it? It doesn't matter what it was, but I think it was linen or something, or whatever it was. And the crop rotation hit, and out of nowhere, I switched from gathering linen to gathering a little bit, a tiny bit of, I think it was wheat at the end. So if you play the game long enough, you will find bugs. Keep this in mind. Now, another thing that I kind of find bad is that this game is being developed by a single man. How can a single man finish a game like this? I don't think he can do it alone. I think you will need a team. I don't want to see this game go AAA, right? I don't want to see this game sold to some big company, because we all know what big companies do, right? But I feel like the developer needs help. This is too much for a man. This is too much. Like, this guy is a single unit. He's a beast of a developer. But come on, there's so much you can do. There's only 24 hours in a day. You can't develop this alone. So I think if the developer does not hire someone or get a small team or someone to help him, I don't know if we will ever see the version 1.0 of the game, right? It's too much for a single man to do alone. Another kind of, it's not really a bad thing, but if you think about it, I don't think this current version of the game is worth 30 euros or $30 or whatever currency it is. I think the finished version will be worth a lot more than this, but the current version, it's too buggy, it's too early access, and I think the price is not right, in my opinion. But I'm going to talk about this right now. Why should you buy this game? I think you should buy this game at $30 because you are investing $30 in the future. It's not in the current version, because again, I don't think the current version is worth $30, but I think you should invest in this game, and I think you should buy this game because you should invest in the vision, in what the developer has to offer. And I think again, the developer needs funding. I don't think this man alone can develop a game like this. There's no way. There's no way. This is crazy that the developer alone did something like this, but I don't think he can continue this alone. There's no way. I can't conceive a world like that in my mind. There's no way. So again, what I'm trying to say is that yes, this game is in very alpha state version 0.001 before Christ. The game is not worth $30 in my opinion right now, or 30 euros or whatever currency you're buying this game in. But I think we should buy the game to tell the developer, hey, listen, I see what you're trying to do. I love what you're trying to do. It's great. You are an extremely creative man. This is a beautiful game, and I want to support you. I want to invest in the future. And again, when this game is finished, when version 1.0 comes out, I think the game will be worth way more than $30. Way more. Alright guys, that's it. If you like the video, like, comment, let me know what you think. Do you like this game? Have you played it before? And if you haven't, I recommend checking it out. So bye guys.